after 15 years of journeying in this spiritual New Age path, it felt like all areas, work, relationship had ended, even my home. I was actually living in my mum's spare room. My car had stopped, my health was in a terrible state. I can't think of any redeeming space in my life at the time. And in that space, I reached out to my spiritual life coach stroke mentor and shared with her how desperate I actually felt. She promised to tune in. She said she'd phone me back. And I waited, this was my lifeline. And she had been able to do that in the past, whether it was, oh, you're being haunted by a past life in this situation, or there's an aspect of your childhood that's coming to the fore. These were typically things that I would have been offered before, which would give me some kind of direction or understanding, plus hope. But when she phoned me back, it was an unusual tone, and she said to me, look, Mary, I've tuned in, and I have one message for you. I don't know how you're going to take this, but it's quite a simple one. Jesus is calling you. It just felt like so lame, After all these higher truths that I'd been exposed to, why would she go to Christianity, which was, again, in my past experience, seen as something quite restrictive and old-fashioned, archaic? So I tried to help her along, and I said, oh, do you mean I must meditate to the ascended masters? And she said, no, you need to get on your knees and pray to Jesus Christ. And something somewhere deep down resonated with truth. So my first prayer is after having had that news from my coach, and I said, okay, Jesus, I'm prepared to hand over all that's left to you, but please can you make this real for me? But more importantly, I need you to be real for me. He so honored that prayer, and I use the word woo, but he won me over and showed me who he was in a way that I would never have anticipated. The words that come to mind are gentle, a gentle loving, a gentle restoration, versus what I might have perceived or expected in the past of a judgmental and it's time to answer for what you've done approach from Jesus or God. What strikes me each time I tell the story is how amazingly creative our God is, how he knows how to access each one of us, and he meets us wherever we're at. In my story, he used a voice that would be totally unlikely under the circumstances to share his message, and it was the only voice I would have listened to or taken seriously. The voice of my spiritual life coach had the most power, and he used it to speak to me. And what was key for me also in the difference was that insatiable search is over, and it is insatiable because it's very seductive, the New Age path, because there are elements of truth which resonate, clouded in other stuff that's actually hard to hold on to, and after a period of time it becomes more and more of a mirage. Don't be put off by what you might have perceived of following Christ, because there is more freedom than you would expect. So what you might imagine as controlling, full of rules, is actually an order that liberates. And the love of the Father is truly what you're looking for, and he's waiting and willing to meet you right now.